All right, are you there? Can you see me? Great, let's get started. All right, hello guys, this is Dennard Mitchell here, the epitome of empowerment, also known as the hottest youth speaker on the planet, here with your great advice for teens, or should I say teenagers? Well, you know what I'm talking about. Today, our topic for today is, well, you can see it behind me, Mr. Ali is talking, well, he's not really talking, but you see, self-esteem. I decided today to talk about self-esteem and primarily low self-esteem for two reasons. Well, something happened strange yesterday while I was waiting at the barbershop waiting to get my hair cut. Hope you like it, by the way. But while I was sitting there waiting for my barber to call me, there was a young lady who came. She had to be about in her late 30s, probably middle to late 30s. But she had three little kids, probably about 4, 5, and 6. And you know, kids sometimes run around and they play and they have fun, and that's what they were doing. They were not bothering anyone. But for some strange reason, this young lady kept yelling at them, telling them to shut up, to sit down, and started yelling at them saying, you all act like you have no home training, etc., etc., etc. So I was kind of disturbed by that because I was like, these are kids and they're not doing anything. So I wondered, what was this doing to them? That's number one. That led me to talk about this. But then also, too, secondly, for those who don't know, I have the privilege to encountering hundreds of teens every day. You know, that's a part of my job. I'm excited about that. I get a chance to interact with teens all day, to encourage them, to motivate them, to give them advice. Not only that, but to learn from them. And lately, I've been passing out surveys similar to this. Whoop, sorry about that. But I've been passing out surveys and just basic questions about being a teenager and what are some of the things that affect you. So I had some of the teens to write down what are some issues that they're dealing with. And as I was going through these surveys, I noticed there was a commonality: low self-esteem, low self-esteem, low self-esteem. So here we are with that topic. First and foremost, what is self-esteem? Well, let's break the word down. Self, let's put that to the side, and esteem. Obviously, self is you. Esteem is a high regard for something, respect for something, to admire or have admiration for something. So if we put those two together, that's pretty much the opinion you have about yourself. How do you feel about yourself? Do you respect yourself? Do you admire yourself? When you look into this thing, yes, a mirror. Boy, you're a good looking dude. Oh, okay, enough about me for right now. But when you look in this thing, what do you feel about that person that's on the other side? How do you feel about that person? That's your self-esteem. Also, what do you think other people feel about you? Where does self-esteem, or should I say low self-esteem, come from? Question number one. I wish I had somebody that can like write this on there so you can see it come at the bottom. Question number one. But anyway, just visualize it. Where does low self-esteem come from? Well, when we're born, nobody is born with high self-esteem or low self-esteem. We're just born. But we're conditioned to have low self-esteem. How does it happen? Well, based on what I told you about what happened to me yesterday at the barbershop, those kids, whether they know it or not, they were being conditioned by hearing all of that negative, by telling them to stop and you're stupid and to shut up and you all act like you don't have any self-training or home training. Those are things that affect your self-esteem. Well, what's something else that affects your self-esteem? I know many teens that I work with, including myself when I was a teenager, they experience a divorce of their parents. That could be one. Sometimes we feel that the burden is ours and that it was our fault that our parents divorced. Another thing could be their appearance. A lot of teens are dealing with the way they look. Some are too big, some are too little, some are not pretty enough, some are not small enough, some are not big enough, something I had to deal with growing up, as you can see. Well, I'm pretty big now. But anyway, these are things that affect low self-esteem. As a matter of fact, I was doing a little research in the Department of Education. I went on their website and I read a little something on self-esteem, and it says on here that girls often experience deeper self-doubt than boys. Society sends girls the message that it is important for them to get along with others and to be very thin and pretty. Life can just be hard. However, for boys who think that they have met society expectations, it can be hard for them as well too, because they have to be physically active, they have to be in sports, they have to talk to girls, and have to do all of these things that quote-unquote society has placed on us. And that can be a lot of pressure for teens. So, what do we do about this thing called low self-esteem? Well, there are a few things that I want to help you all with. If you're someone who's listening to this video, or you know somebody who can use this video, or you know somebody that is experiencing low self-esteem, here are 4 things that I would like to give you. And there are many more you can do, but I would just like to give you 4 things that you can do immediately that can help you with your self-esteem. Advice number 1. I recommend that if you're dealing with low self-esteem, or you know someone that's dealing with low self-esteem, talk to someone that you trust. Again, I wish it could be down at the bottom, but don't worry, we'll get to that. Talk to someone you trust. Sometimes it's just good to get it out. Find someone that you trust, whether it's a friend, someone you can confide in, a counselor, a teacher, a parent, a neighbor. Talk to someone you trust and share these thoughts that you're having with them. Number 2, journal. Just find a little pad, a notepad or something, and just journal and write down your thoughts. You know, I see this quite often while working with students and teenagers. Some would actually journal like in a diary. Some would actually write a song. Some would actually write a rap. Some would actually write poetry. But it's good to get those feelings and those thoughts out and put it on paper. The third thing that would be good to do, if you would like to, is to try to encourage yourself. That was the whole inspiration behind this picture you see. This gentleman behind me, Mr. Muhammad Ali, a lot of people thought that he was arrogant and that he was just all into himself and conceited. But in fact, he understood that he had to encourage himself. And that's something he did quite often. If you would just look up Muhammad Ali, any videos, you will see that he always did it. He always told himself that he was pretty, that he was the best. He said, don't block the door because Archie Moore is falling in 4. He was confident when he went into the ring. Ooh, don't get me started, because, man, you have to encourage yourself. So when you wake up in the morning, you just have to tell yourself, you know what, this is a great day, and I'm a great person, and I'm proud about who I am, and I'm thankful for this body that I have, and I'm thankful that I'm living, and I look good, and I'm ready to conquer the world. And it's not going to happen at first, but you got to constantly keep doing it. It's like working your muscles. It's something that you have to become accustomed to, as opposed to telling yourself all the time, well, I don't look good. Start telling yourself you do look good. And then you will start to feel great about that. The last thing you want to do, this is going to be pretty hard, but I challenge you to encourage others. See, sometimes when we take the attention off ourselves, it makes it a whole lot easier to get through the day. So seek out individuals that you can encourage and tell them, you know what, you did a great job today. Or you look good. Or you know what, I really like the way you did that. Try to encourage others. And when you put out encouragement, encouragement will come back into you. Okay? So hopefully that those 4 steps were helpful. And trust me, there's a lot more that we can talk about on this topic. And I will come back to you with some more different suggestions, ideas, and advice on this topic of self-esteem. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you want to get more information about myself, of course, you can visit me on Facebook. My name is Dennard Mitchell, DENNARD MITCHELL. You can visit me on Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, YouTube, and you can also email me if you have any questions, or you can reply to this video. Well, I wish they had something again down at the bottom. It should be somewhere at the bottom of this video once you're looking at it. You can reply to this and let me know what you thought about this video, or if you have any other questions or concerns or topics that you would like me to address, and I'll do that. You can also email me at Dennard, DENNARD, at successtours.org. That's Dennard, DENNARD, at SUCCESST, as in Tom, OURS.org. email me. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know about any concerns